الحج أشهر معلومات فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Okay, this is the fifth session. Inshallah, as I mentioned in the previous one, inshallah I'm going to go over very briefly on some of the etiquettes a person should follow when he is about to go for Hajj. In fact, some of these we have already discussed, so we won't need to go into any detail. The first thing, and this is from one of the writing of Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, who wrote this matter very beautifully. First thing that he mentioned is tawbah, repentance, that a person who is going to go for Hajj should make tawbah from all kind of ma'asi, all kind of sins and wrongdoings and oppression, anything he is doing against the hukm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anything he has done against people, to ask for forgiveness from them. This is one of the very important etiquettes of before going to Hajj. The second is the purpose in this that you make tawbah is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the one who comes for the Hajj of this house falam yarfuth walam yafsuq, and he does not do any kind of obscene act and does not do any sin, then he raja'a ka yawm waladathu ummuh, that he returns like the day his mother gave birth to him. So if a person goes and does all that and comes back and he has been offending somebody and he continues, then it's not, or even if he left something, because what is between a person and his Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever and however he wishes, we forgive. But if a person has done something wrong with another person, this has to be resolved between the two. And this is why making tawbah before going to Hajj is something that the person should not forget. The second is praying Salatul Istikhara, not for going for the Hajj, rather whether he wants to go this year or next year, or if this is in case if this is a non-obligatory Hajj. If it's an obligatory Hajj, as soon he has the istita'ah, he should go. But if this is non-obligatory, he may have some difficulty, or there are some other reasons that he wants to delay, then istikhara, or that the group he chooses to go with, to making istikhara. This is a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help to making choices in such matters. Learning the rites of Hajj and Umrah, we have said enough on that, alhamdulillah. This is something that Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah said this is wajib. Paying the debts if possible. Many people have asked me, I have got a mortgage, can I go for Hajj? So I said, what is the problem? So they said, this is two kind of answers you get. One is that this is a debt. Second, they would say, because although they took the fatwa, but now they realize that this is something haram, and because they are committing this sin, so can they go for Hajj? Because of that, this is a prevention. The answer to both of those is both are invalid reasons. If a person has done something wrong, he should have more reason to go to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pray, to ask for forgiveness, and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make him able to get rid of this. Second is that, yes, this is a debt, but this is a debt tied up with the time and sequence. So it is not something which is immediately there. So such debt does not prevent a person for going for Hajj. So if a person has to pay his rent or his mortgage or whatever in 3 months' time, he cannot delay the Hajj because of that, because he has to pay back after 1 year. 1 year he has to pay back someone. He cannot delay the Hajj this year. Rather, he has to perform the Hajj. If he has to pay now and he pays back and nothing is left, then that's a different matter. Pleasing one's parents, very important. And some scholars also included that for a woman, that she pleases her her husband, because these are the people who have the greatest right. Using halal money for the Hajj, we have already mentioned this. This is from the etiquettes of the Hajj, and in fact this is from the necessities of the Hajj. This is very important. Choosing good people to accompany, and that's also we have mentioned. So these are some of the things that Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah elaborated in some detail, but we don't need to inshallah go in detail. Some of the important issues I have already discussed in detail. Okay, we'll go to inshallah now on how the Hajj and Umrah is performed, and this is in the similar format as I did in the previous series, dividing the whole issue of how one performs the Hajj and Umrah into two components. Number one is Ihram, and number two are actual rites of Hajj and Umrah. The issue of Ihram is divided into defining the Ihram and all the other things connected with the Ihram. The things which are connected with the Ihram are 5, and I'll discuss that in a minute inshallah. Defining the Ihram is why I have put emphasis on it and made it a separate issue, is that this is where very commonly mistake is made. If you don't understand the term, then you will apply the ruling in the wrong way, and then the obvious result is a serious mistake. The word ihram is from the word haram, which means prohibition or prohibited, and this is called ihram. That's in the linguistic meaning, but in the terminology of Hajj and Umrah, it means the intention of Hajj and Umrah, the niyyah of Hajj and Umrah. That's what it means. But linguistically it means prohibition, or the state a person enters from the miqat where certain things become prohibited. This is very important. Often people think that the ihram means those 2 sheets which men wear, because in that way this means that women have no ihram. Secondly, if those sheets are ihram, this means that the state of ihram will begin from even Heathrow Airport. If he ties those 2 sheets, then the state of ihram begins, but that is not the case. The state of ihram begins when a person makes niyyah of Hajj or Umrah when he reaches the miqat, and inshallah when the relevant issue comes, then I'll discuss this more in detail. So intention of the Hajj and Umrah is ihram. So when we say ihram, it means that intention, that state of prohibition is ihram. It does not mean those 2 sheets. Those 2 sheets we can say this is libasul ihram, or this is izar or rida, or just say towels, because those are the generally made of towelish material. The issues which are connected with the ihram, as I said, there are 5 issues the scholars have defined. The ruling, the ahkam, the hukm of the ihram, whether this is from the wajibat of the Hajj and Umrah, or this is from the shart, or this is from arkan, etc. Second is types of ihram, okay, because I said the niyyah, so there are types. You are making a niyyah of what? Umrah, Hajj, or Hajj and Umrah together, and there are types in that, and we'll discuss that. The prescribed time and places of ihram, and this is what is called mawaqit or miqat, and it's appointed station from where you begin the ihram, an appointed time from where you begin the ihram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, al-hajju ashhurum ma'lumat, that the Hajj is in known months. So there is appointed time as well as place, and we'll come to that. Manners, adab of and the sunan action of the ihram, what is recommended in the ihram and what has more ajr. And lastly, prohibitions of ihram, which is the most important issue connected with the ihram. The ruling concerning the ihram, very simple, that this is a pillar, this is a rukun of Hajj and Umrah, without which there is no Hajj and Umrah. Except a small group of scholars differed from this, and they said this is not from the arkan, but it is from the shart, the condition of Hajj and Umrah. But either way, there is, even if you say this is a condition or you say this is a rukun, in either case the Hajj and Umrah is not valid because of without the ihram. The types of ihram, which mean the type of intention you make, these are 3. Okay, ifrad, qiran, tamattu. The ifrad is when the haji, the person who is going to do the Hajj and Umrah, when he reaches the miqat, he makes the niyyah of Hajj only. And then he pronounces his Hajj saying, Allahumma labbayka Hajj. So this is ifrad. So he goes and he performs the tawaf al-qudum when he enters Makkah, the arrival tawaf, and then he stays in that state of ihram until the 8th of Dhul Hijjah comes, which is Yawm al-Tarwiyah, from where he begins the manasik of the Hajj. And when he completes those on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, having done the rami of Jamarat al-Aqaba and the Nahar and Halaq, then he exit the major part of which is the first exit, that he exit that state, and the prohibitions are taken away except one, and we'll discuss that later in detail, inshallah. The second one is what is called qiran. This is ifrad is from fard, which means alone, which means this is the Hajj alone. The qiran means to marry, nikah, zawwaj. So why this is called qiran? Because in this you combine the Hajj and Umrah together in one niyyah and one set of rites. So one tawaf and one sa'i for both of them. You make the niyyah of the Hajj and Umrah, and you also call out the way you begin with talbiyah. Ahalla is by Allahumma labbayka bi umrati wal hajj. So they both are in that together. This is because you have had the privilege of combining the two manasik in one set of manasik. That's why an additional thing in this type of niyyah is that when you end the manasik, then you have to offer a hadi, a sacrifice, a slaughter of an animal, whether that is a sheep or a goat or kai or camel, one of these, that you do offer that as a penalty for enjoying that advantage. The third is what we call the tamattu', which is from the word tamattu itself, and tamattu means to enjoy or to take advantage. And this is the type of Hajj where you make the intention for Umrah only. When you are going from here on the miqat, you make the intention of Umrah, and you pronounce your Umrah and you perform your Umrah, and then you exit the state of Ihram in Mecca, and then you are without any prohibitions until the time of Hajj comes on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah in the morning. Then you again make the niyyah for Hajj alone. So separate Umrah, separate Hajj. In between you enjoy life. And this is why it's called tamattu', and this is also, and it ends in a hadi, that you have to offer a slaughter for the advantage you had from this. All three are valid types of Hajj, but the scholars disputed which one is the afdal. They said that the qiran is the best one, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the correct view, performed qiran Hajj. The others, they said no, the tamattu' is better, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered his companion, whoever did not bring the animal of hadi, that they should perform the tamattu'. And he also, when he was questioned, he said, لو استقبلت من أمري ما استدبرت لما سقت الحدي ولا جعلتها عمرة. That if I knew of what I know now, then I would not have brought the hadi, and I would have taken this as my umrah. Okay, so this means that the Prophet ﷺ was informed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something which he did not know, otherwise he would not have brought the hadi, animal of sacrifice, with him and perform the tamattu hajj. But anyone who takes the animal of sacrifice, for him it is necessary that he performs the qiran hajj. Okay, the places and time of the ihram. The time we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَحِلَّةِ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. Did they ask about the new moon? Say that this is for the time for the timings for the people and the Hajj. And we determine the time of Hajj also by seeing the moon of Dhul Hijjah. The actual time begins from Dhul Qa'dah, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-Hajju ashhurum ma'lumat, and those months, not Dhul Qa'dah, sorry, the month before that. So from Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah, these are the 3 months. So there is some difference of opinion among scholars. Some said that it is the 2 months and then 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Some said 2 months and 12 days of Dhul Hijjah. And some said it's all the month of Dhul Hijjah. Whichever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, but these are the months of Hajj, and this is the timing when you can enter the ihram of Hajj and Umrah for this purpose. But you cannot do that before the month of Shawwal begins. The places of ihram, miqat, these are stations are surrounding Makkah, which where you start the ihram. People who go by air, they will be informed they are passing the miqat line, and they should make the niyyah before that, and I'll discuss that later a little bit more. But it's very important that everyone realizes that they have to make niyyah not after passing the miqat line, but before that. Otherwise, they have not entered the ihram. These stations are prescribed in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, the various reports, but the one from Ibn Abbas is the comprehensive one, which is muttafiq alayh, in which he said, وَقَّتَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم لِأَهْلِ الْمَدِينَةِ ذَا الْحُلَيْفَةِ وَلِأَهْلِ الشَّامِ الْجُحْفَةِ وَلِأَهْلِ النَّجْدِ قَرْنَ الْمَنَازِلِ وَلِأَهْلِ الْيَمَنِ يَلَمْلَمَ. That Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prescribed the miqat station for people of Medina, Dhul Hulayfa, people of Sham, Al-Juhfa, people of Najd, Qarn al-Manazil, and people of Yemen, Yalamlama, which is in the south. But you will see that on the map, inshallah. Then he said, فَهُنَّ لَهُنَّ وَلِمَنْ أَتَى عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ غَيْرِ أَهْلِهِنَّ لِمَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةِ. That these are miqat for themselves, these places, and those who are coming from outside with the intention of performing the Hajj and Umrah, and they pass through it, then they are miqat for them also. But those who are other than this, which means within the area of miqat, then for them their miqat is their place. So if a person comes and stays in Makkah, then he enters the ihram from within Makkah. He doesn't have to go back to the place of miqat and enter ihram. In addition to that, Aisha radiallahu anha's report, which is recorded by Imam al-Nasai, that she said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made the miqat for Ahl al-Iraq, Data Irq. This is a place in the east of Makkah, just above Qarn al-Manazil, that she said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made that as their miqat. And there are other reports from Umar radiallahu anhu also, that he was asked for the miqat, and he appointed Data Irq. Inshallah, briefly, that's the issue about miqat. But as I said, that people who are traveling by air, when they will pass over the miqat line, then their miqat begins, their ihram begins, and they must make the niyyah before passing that miqat line. Then they can start the talbiyah after that. And that brings us to the manners which are to be observed during the state of ihram. There are 4 issues concerning the manners of ihram. One is taking a bath before entering the ihram. Second is applying perfume. Third is a prayer before ihram. And the fourth is talbiyah, which is of course a very important issue connected with the ihram. Taking a bath before the ihram is reported by Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu anhu. In fact, his son Kharajah, he reported from his father that Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu anhu said that he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taking a bath for the ihram. However, the scholars, they said that this is something mustahab, it's not obligate, it's not wajib. And this is also known from Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, that sometime he will do the ghusl, sometime he would simply make wudu before he would make niyyah for the Hajj and Umrah. Some scholars, they said that those women who are in the state of menstruation or nafas, the bleeding after the childbirth, for them it's wajib to make ghusl. However, this is one of the views of the scholars. The others, they said that's also mustahab, that's also strongly recommended, and they base that on the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on the reports from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning Aisha radiallahu anha and the wife of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, who gave birth to her son at the miqat, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered her to make ghusl before she entered the state of ihram. So it is something that is highly recommended, but it's not obligatory. Applying the perfume, this is an area where often people make mistake. Now this is why it's important to understand the scenario. So you are in London, you get ready and you take a bath and you use the perfume, etc., and in fact the scholar, they said all kind of acts of cleanliness, removing the hair and clipping the nail and all that, a person should be purify himself, use good clothes, and then he should leave for the journey. If he changes his clothes on Heathrow or anywhere else, it does not mean now applying the perfume has become prohibited. No, because he has not entered the state of ihram until he actually makes the niyyah. There is no prohibition of applying the perfume, and this is why Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that كنت أطيب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لإحرامه حين يحرم ولحله قبل أن يطوف بالبيت. That I used to apply perfume on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for his ihram, meaning to when he would begin the ihram, and for when he would exit the ihram on the day of Nahr, before he would go for the tawaf of the Kaaba. But I'll come to this hadith again because this is relevant in other issues also. And in addition to that, she said that كأني أنظر إلى وبيس الطيب في مفارق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو محرم, as if I am seeing the traces of perfume in the hairline of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam whilst he is in the state of ihram. So it's not something that is forbidden, rather it is recommended that one applies the perfume, especially to the body, before he makes the niyyah of Hajj and Umrah, not before tying the sheets. Even after tying the sheets, one can apply the perfume as long as he has not made the niyyah of the Hajj and Umrah. And the fourth and last item in the manners of ihram is third is the prayer before the ihram. And this is also a common mistake. People think that there is a specific prayer before the ihram, salatul ihram. There is no such thing prescribed. Rather, it is recommended in the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that a person prays and then enters the state of ihram. That prayer may be obligatory salah, or it may be a tahiyatul masjid, it may be 2 rak'at after the wudu, any of these. But there's no specific salah before, for associated with the ihram. So when you are on the airport and you change your clothes and wear those sheets, you don't have to go and pray 2 rakat because there's no occasion, there's no reason for that. But if you stop on the masjid at the miqat and you change your clothes and you make a bath and change your clothes, and then you have to make before that you pray tahiyatul masjid, or if it's a time for duhar or asr or any of the salawat, then you do that. So that's the Salatul Ihram. And the fourth, as I said, is the Talbiyah. We have got with only a few seconds left for the end of this session. Inshallah, I'll explain the Talbiyah in some detail in the next session. Sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الحج أشهر معلومات، فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج،